Greetings again. Today is February 6, 2018. We are in a new year of video games. This is Cerrone Games Go, back at it with another video. And this video is about a fighting game called Dissidia NT, from the creators of square-enix, made by Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja. Now, when this game was released, well, prior to its release, it had the demo that you can try out on the PSN network for free for a certain limited time. And it gave you a small tutorial, of what to do in the game. It showed you basic moves, it showed you basic attacks, summons, how the whole summon system worked, how to dodge, how to roll. But what I've discovered is that there was a strategy guide book that came out. And the reason why for this video is because I'm not seeing a lot of people talk about the strategy guide and how important it is that if you want to get invested in this game, you need the strategy guide. I don't know why they didn't put a sleeve in it. I mean, when you open up the case, there's pretty much nothing there. It's just some pamphlets. But yeah, you need the strategy guide. And I don't know why Square Enix didn't put a small booklet to show off each one of these characters' fighting styles. I mean, I just been playing with random characters for about maybe 20 some odd hours now, and something told me I need the strategy guide. So I run down to my local game store and I picked up the last copy of the strategy guide. And the wealth of information that's in this book, I'm gonna tell you right now. I was looking up another YouTuber's video, and he was talking about how important the strategy guide is. I've been on Reddits, I've been on forums, and there have been certain people who's been letting people know, hey, if you really want to get fully invested in the game and you want to test your prowess as far as fighting with these 28 some odd characters, the playing the game alone won't cut it. The tutorial in the game won't cut it. This is a deep, strategic fighting game that is being overlooked because obviously there's been two other games that was released, and I gotta give Square Enix credit for having the balls to actually release this game right around the same time as Monster Hunter and Dragon Ball Z game. But this game, I think it's gonna take a second viewing. I think a lot of people who were on the fence about it played the demo, watching videos, and they're not really getting the full scope of what you can do in this game. And I'm going to give you pretty much a quick example of it. I did buy the strategy guide. Like I said, it was the last one in my game store. So I was just, it was mind-boggling as I knew that there were certain characters who had transformations. I knew characters who had different buffs as far as like what they can do that other characters can't do. And then when I opened the book, I realized that, let's say for instance, the Onion Knight, he has so many transformations, he can swap classes. Lightning, she has a different wardrobe swap that she can just go into doing different variations. She can change her stance, change her fighting techniques and everything. And knowing these characters and the history of these games, put it this way, if you're not a fan of Final Fantasy games, you haven't played them, this is not going to mean anything to you. But I'm talking to the direct fans of who actually plays these RPGs. You know these characters. You know their loadouts. You know their quick times, their reaction times. These characters have it. And what's sad is that the demo doesn't tell you that. There's not even a big, I would say, promotion to get the strategy guide. You need the strategy guide. And I know that, if you bought the collector's edition or the steelbook edition, it ran you 60 some odd dollars. But yeah, you have the base game, season pass, obviously. But if you really want to fully invest your time into actually knowing what this game is about, you need the strategy guide, especially if you never played any Dissidia games before. My history with Dissidia, I bought when it was on the PSP, I bought Dissidia, the first one. I bought Dissidia 1, 2, and I even bought the collector's edition of the PSP when that came out, and that was only released in Japan. That was a white PSP 3000 console that I have, and I still have it. But I was a fan of the Dissidia series just because I could fight with all of the main cast of characters and the entire history of Final Fantasy. But that's another day I'll tell you that story. Here's the strategy guide, and I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you what's in here. First of all, it has some cool artwork. I know that the collector's edition had artwork, but this has artwork, bro. This thing is huge. Look at this. I mean, and this is just the beginning of the pages. Now, this is what the base level game shows you. It shows you movements, dashing, switching targets, yada, yada, yada. But when you get into the actual characters, I mean, it also even has the map of each and every stage that you fight on and how huge it is. Not only that, it shows you what happens when you do summon a monster or a summon. It shows you pre-summon world and it shows you post-summon world. And the terrain even changes. So this is very unique for a game that, like I said, a lot of people that did not pick up this book, you should really pick it up because it has a lot of information in it. The summons, it has all your summons, characters. Now, what I want to show you something, I want to just bring up to, let's say, Cloud, right? All right. So here's Cloud. And if you see that circle right there, it shows you each of his attacks and the width of how far it reaches. So let's put it this way. If you charge up your swing, it looks like that. If you don't charge, that's as much space as you're going to have of an attack. And this, I mean, this thing has some serious detail. These aren't just, you know, something that they tell you in the game. This is something that you read in this book, and it has a very detailed, look at this. It has a very detailed attack moves. It shows you exactly what he does and how much reach you can get with it. And the only thing that bugged me about not having the strategy guys was Cloud has a limit breaker that I know he can use. And I didn't know how to do it. I knew what the cross slash was, but I didn't know once you initiate the limit break, all of his movements and speed, he just get this huge speed buff, which is amazing because then he's a maniac on the stage. But that's beside the point. I mean, just look at this. And I don't see anybody else that, you know, anybody's videos on YouTube that actually talks about this, but I want to just give you an idea of, you know, certain, look at this. They show you all of the outfits, everything, with the swords that you have, everything, all the weapons, you know. I mean, this book is huge with every character, every single character, and they do not tell you this in the game. You will not know all of these moves and its attributes and what they bring to the table when you're in the arena. So, you know, I'm pretty sure some people like to just play fighting games and learn on their own. I am a fan of that too. I do that, but there are certain games that I'm like, you know what? Let me pick up the strategy guide and let me just see what detail. And not only that, I like the cool artwork too. So I'm a fan of strategy guides. I do pick up a lot of strategy guides as well. But, you know, it was only because I just wanted a strategy guide that I came across this. I just wanted a strategy guide because it was the Dissidia game. And it was the first Dissidia game released on a console, not a handheld. So, you know, it's a celebration of all of the characters from Final Fantasy. So this is the reason why I picked up this book. But then when I opened the book and realized, wait a minute, they didn't tell me about all this. I didn't know about this. I didn't know about distance between characters. I didn't know none of this. So, I'm not going to spoil it for you. You know, if you have intentions on picking this game up, I highly recommend you get the strategy guide with it. Yeah, but you know, it's a good game. I like the game. I was on the fence about getting it. There was so many games to play this month. You know, Dragon Ball Z, you had the Monster Hunter, which I'm still playing. But I wanted to test out Dissidia, and I, just like everyone else, was like, what did they do to Dissidia? You know, I'm used to all more characters and the whole cast of. I was used to that. Believe me, I was used to the same feeling. I was used to the same things that I know Square Enix gave us in the past, and it wasn't there. But what I discovered in playing the game, I said, okay, this is way more in depth. And, you know, it was just a hunch to go ahead. Let me just pick the strategy guide up and see what they say, because I know transformations. I know that there are certain buffs that they have that they're not telling you about. And like I said, you play the base game, even if you get the collector's edition, you won't know all of this happens without the strategy guide. So, yeah, that's pretty much the end of my video. Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you picked the game up. Tell me if you picked the strategy guide up, you know. But yeah, peace.